Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 22-23 school years of Learning with Loden. I am really excited about this year. We have the opportunity to return to seated meetings, and we'll have a series of dates this year where we have a variety of topics that are being discussed. And we're going to kick off with something that's very important. We will have Officer Jason Hartsell and Mr. Zac Rantz in our first series talking about our safety program that we have. And we can't go into all the details by the nature of just having a safety program, but we'll go into a variety of topics dealing with the plans that we have, the types of drills that we have, the committees that we have, partnerships, and a few of the things behind the scenes like cameras and keeping doors locked, and then the audits that we have, and the just a comprehensive package from cameras to radios that we upgraded for our buses. And this first month will be held in one of our FEMA shelters at Matthews, which is a very important part of our safety plan. And we have multiple shelters that are open to our community. And at the same time, we have a few that are just for kids only. And our plans are in the future to have one at every campus. And we actually have a grant out for one at High Point Summit. And in the next 5 years, our goal would be to hopefully have grants and funding so we can have a safety mechanism like a FEMA safety shelter at every campus. Welcome to this month's Learning with Loden, and glad to have you back in person.
Hello and welcome to another recap of Learning with Loden for the 2022-23 school year. We're excited to actually be doing these in person this year, but we'd like to bring you a recap of today's in-person on safety and security. So my name is Zac Rantz, and I'm the Chief Communication Officer and also the Safety Coordinator. And also with me is Jason Hartsell. He's the Director of our School Police. So we're really excited here. And so Jason, I guess we had a lot of talk today about safety and security, but I guess the best way to maybe explain it or summarize it to people is we try to have lots of discussion, and we try to do long-term planning, and we try not to have knee-jerk reactions. And we try to maybe look at what actually happens. And I know we've had a lot of discussions about things like tornado safety or even active shooter stuff. Why is it important for us to know what actually happened when we make decisions versus just kind of maybe going by what social media says or those initial news reports?
Yeah, sure. So social media obviously is a big thing. It can help us out a lot, and it can also hurt us a lot because of rumors, things like that. Someone sees something on a certain post and then goes and posts it somewhere else, and then it's just this big rumor mill. So safety and security, as far as that goes, can go a long way because we get these rumors. We get all these calls, we got all these, other posts, and then you're questioning yourself. Okay, what is going on? Is there actually something going on here? So yeah, I mean.
Well, with all that too, like we want to know like the facts about what's going to happen. I guess with our active shooter stuff, we don't want to, plan for something that was a rumor. I think the thing for me, like with Columbine, is at the very beginning, we always think of that, but they were actually going to like try to blow up the school, with like bombs in the cafeteria. Well, no, we'd never heard of that. And then, all the kids in there were, they're the goth and like the outcasts, and they were actually really popular kids that just, so there's a lot of rumors that can start. So I know I hate social media when it comes to that, just because we want to know what the facts are. And I guess metal detectors, like that always comes up in any kind of active shooter situation or anything. Why do we not kind of really want metal detectors in our schools?
The first thing that comes to mind is you have several thousand kids I say several thousand, a couple thousand kids, and staff in the high school, say at Nixa. That would be a nightmare trying to get all those people in the morning, and plus we have passing periods. Not all kids come at 7 a.m. or 7:30. Some come for third hour, fourth hour. Some only come for 1 hour. So staffing that, and right now you would probably only be able to afford one entrance with all that, and so you got to get 2,000 people through that entrance before 7:32 and school starts.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then too, I mean, a lot of the research that we've seen is that really may not deter an active shooter and a lot of stuff. That would be more just kind of letting us know somebody has a gun as they go through. That's more probably if we had issues with like knives and some of those kind of situations. So I think there we probably also look at like what actually we're dealing with, and if we deal with things that require metal detectors, we would be the first ones to get it. And really, the experts are just saying that that's probably not the best thing there. And then two, I know we've talked a lot about, you know, and it came out in our magazine that came out this summer. We talked about a school police department that's, you know, the school district's going to do. What is that looking like? And, you know, kind of why are we going down that road for a school district?
Sure. Currently, we are commissioned officers through the Christian County Sheriff's Department. And this would give us a little more free reign as far as things that we want to do, like applying for grants, like law enforcement grants, things like that. And also the policies would line up a little more with the school district, because we are paid through the school district. We are school district employees.
Mm-hmm. All the resources, everything is paid for by the school district.
Yes. The only thing we get from the sheriff's office is our commission, as police officers. So that's what would change there. Really, anything else wouldn't change anything. And then we would still have a good relationship with the sheriff's office. We'd still have a good relationship with Nixa Police Department. And you know, whoever else, you know, around there. But that's really it. I mean, and we just, you know, evolving, I guess you can say. We are a large school district, you know, even though some people may not want to say that we are a larger school district. And you know, we have 7 officers, and one of these days we're going to grow. And right now we have 11 buildings. I'd love to have 1 in every building, but you know, so we'll see how that goes in the future. But you know, it's just a lot more manageable with everything in-house.
Well, and too, like, I mean, with 7 officers, we're bigger than even some city police departments, you know, just with the school district staff. So it kind of makes sense. And one thing that, you know, you guys were talking about was that funding. Like, we're not eligible for grants for police departments or stuff as a school district. So that even operates or offers additional funding opportunities to help get you the equipment you need to keep our students safe. That's great. And I know too, like, we're in a FEMA safe room right now. Most people, they look around and they're like, what? Yeah, that's a gym. But you know, we've got our FEMA safe rooms. We have our safe places for our students. A majority of our buildings now all have either FEMA safe rooms, or they have or high wind shelters of some sort. So we're almost there as our district goal of getting all those students covered there. And then we really just are kind of just expanding as we go. And so everything else that we probably want to say is, the big things are, if you see something, say something. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. If it's an emergency, call 911. But if you have a question about something, drop us an email. Social media is probably not the best place to crowdsource and information about school safety and security. We'll answer that. We'll give you all the information you need. If you see one of the officers at one of the games or around the school district or whatever else at any event, reach out and ask a question, because you know, that's what we're here for to do. So Jason, I know, like, one thing that we always talk about is like the safety of our students, and so that is also with visitors. And so we define really anybody who's not a student or staff member in our building as a visitor. And so that's because we don't know what's going on at home. And so the number one reason why we have to usually involve the police outside of our students are parents, and parent issues and custody issues and just all that kind of stuff. So what would you say about, like, if somebody says, you know, well, I'm a parent, you know, I want to come visit my kid in the building, we welcome them, but we need you to check in. You know, why is that?
Yeah, checking in at the front desk is paramount. We want everybody to check in at the front desk. We don't need visitors walking around the halls with no visitor tag or escort or anything like that. There is a possibility, depending on the reason why you're there, that you may get escorted in a certain building. And that's no offense to anybody. It's just something that we are putting in as a safety precaution. So checking in, getting that visitor tag. It may be a little annoying to wear that little visitor tag, but it is very important to us to see somebody with that visitor tag. And if you don't have any tag at all, then we're going to stop and ask you questions. So, and then the front desk clerks, they always do really well at their job, and that is part of their job, is to make sure that you get that visitor tag and you sign in and sign out as well.
And that's because if something happens, we'd all like to plan when an emergency is going to happen in a building, but it usually happens at the worst time. And so we want to know that you're in our building, so we can look for you. That'd be, it's like, so make sure you sign in, sign out, and again, it's no offense to anybody, but we've got to keep our students safe. We have students that, there are custody issues. We have students that are in safety situations. And so we have to make sure that they're safe. And so you may not think of anything that you coming to visit your kid, but we don't know everybody's home life. We don't know what's going on outside of the school, and we have to keep our school building safe. So we really do appreciate everybody adhering to that, and just know you plan a couple extra minutes to come in. If you need to come into the building, just make sure you plan for that, because they are going to, check you and make sure that you're safe to be in our buildings. So we thank you for that as well. If you have any questions, feel free to, reach out, and you can always check us out, all the safety information on our website. If you have questions about our FEMA safe rooms, you can go to nixapublicschools.net/tornado. That has all the safety information on there. And again, if you need anything, don't be afraid to reach out and ask those questions, and we'll be glad to get you those answers. We want to invite you out to the October Learning with Loden. It'll be back at Fott Administration Center at 301 South Main Street. It's going to really cover our activities and our athletics, and kind of all the offerings that we're expanding and offering there, from that kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade opportunities. So join us in person next month, and we look forward to seeing more smiling faces in person at our next Learning with Loden.